How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about the basic version of the armbar. Now, something different I'm going to be doing is along the way, I'm going to be uploading an intermediate version and then an advanced version. Right now, they're going to be comprised of more complicated entries, different concepts, stuff like that. But for today, it's going to be the basic version broken down to 3 steps. I'm going to demonstrate the move, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to be going into detail, showing you, step by step how to do it, and then finally the common mistakes that I've just noticed over the years of teaching. And that's pretty much it, just 3 steps. Let's get right to it. Okay, so now let's start going into a little bit of detail. Starting things off with the same side grip. Have my hand go across over the top of the bicep, kind of the tricep area, as I pull her arm to the center of my body. So I want to have her elbow land right on my belly button as I now keep the bicep grip, because I want to make sure it's snug. I don't want her arm to just fly out, so I hold it nice and snug as I reach across to her shoulder and grab it on. If you want to grab the gi, you can grab the gi. Right? It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're controlling her posture. At this point now, my foot is going to post on her hip. Now, how do you know which foot? It's pretty simple actually. If you just look and notice which arm you're attacking, it's that same side leg. So that same side is the foot that's going to come up. So vice versa. If I was attacking this arm, that side leg is going to come up. And that's it. You'll never get it confused if you just remember that. So same side leg, post that foot on the hip. Now this foot is going to allow me to pivot on the spot. So I'm going to rotate on the spot. As you notice, my leg on this side is going to start climbing up simultaneously. So at the same time I pivot, my foot's going to climb up and I'm going to chop down using my heel on her back. That way, again, we're applying more posture control. At this point now, once I've chopped, I want to now lock my legs over her shoulder. So let me just rotate. So now I lock over her shoulder. When I lock over her shoulder, if she tries to shrug back into closed guard, it can't happen. If I were to lock a little bit lower, she can shrug back in. Now I just gotta start everything all over again. So when I pivot, chop, crisscross my feet, now she tries to shrug in, look, I have control and we're good to go. Now this is the position we call pit stop. This is sort of that moment you can just take a break and sort of analyze what's going on and then continue. You can't be here forever, right? But definitely for a few seconds, you can lock, control, maintain whatever's going on, and then you finish off the armbar. And to finish off the armbar, just use your hand, using your forearm to push against her head. You can use your hand if you want to, but the forearm's gonna be a little bit better. So you're gonna push with your forearm, and I wanna skim my leg. I don't wanna make a huge launch. I wanna make sure that when I push, my foot is just brushing her hair. I'm kind of like a comb. Once I brush her hair, I want to make sure my hips are off the ground. My hips are going to be off the ground, transition into a baseball bat control. So baseball bat control, just imagine you're holding a baseball bat. Baseball bat control, keeping that wrist tight to my chest as I lift my hips to the ceiling. Eventually, we're going to put a lot of pressure on that elbow, and that's where we're going to get the break. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the common mistakes that usually happen for beginners when they're doing the armbar. So to start things off, the first thing that happens, first mistake is they do not control the posture. So what I mean by that is they get the same side grip right, they control the bicep, they bring it to the center, but they don't control the shoulder. So they just completely skip it. And they think that they can just post and pivot. But the problem is that she can just posture up. If she postures up, what the hell is that? There's no way I'm going to armbar. So again, if I don't control the posture, if she just gets tall, look at all this space. There's just no way it's going to happen. So you have to always remember to control the posture. The second common mistake is that during the pivot transition, people hip escape. So what's the difference? So a pivot is I'm just posting my foot and I'm rotating on the spot. So if you look at my hips are just rotating on the spot. They're not moving away. It's a huge difference. If I'm over here and I hip escape, do you guys see the gap? Now, this is a really important detail. I need my hips to be as close to our armpit as possible for the armbar to work. Because let's, for example, look at the end result. If I'm over here If you actually, let's rotate all the way around. If you guys look at the space that I have, my butt needs to be as close to her armpit as possible. If there's more space like this, look at all this, she can just rip her arm right out. And that's pretty much it, it's all gone. So I have to make sure that when I bring my hips up, they're attached to the armpit. Now when I hip escape, that creates all the space in the world. If I'm over here and I hip escape, look at all this space, enough for a herd of buffalo or something, I don't know. There's so much space regardless. Now, if I try to go for the armbar, oh, forget it. There's just no way it's going to happen. So remember, it's pivoting versus hip escaping. So that's number 2. Number 3, being all the way at the final step, when they throw the leg over, people cross their feet. Now here's the thing, it's not the worst thing, there's times to cross your feet. But the problem with beginners crossing their feet is that they do it incorrectly. And what they do is that they typically will extend with it, and what happens now is there's nothing controlling her posture. She can actually drive all her weight into me, bringing my knees to my forehead. And this is a problem because I can't actually extend the arm for the break. So I have to make sure in the beginning, right, when you're first starting out doing the armbar, just open up and bring your heels, imagine bringing your heels to the ground. Now when she tries to drive into me, it's too much pressure on her. It's a lot of pressure, believe me. So do not cross your feet in the beginning. Over time, as you get more advanced, you will find ways to do this, and it can be very effective for sure. But to start, curl the heels. And again, don't forget the major thing is that bringing those hips up into the armpit. I really have to make sure I do that. Thanks for watching again, guys. I really appreciate it. I really hope you can make out what we were doing. I don't know why we decided today to wear 2 white gis for the video. But regardless, again, I really hope you saw what was going on. I'm really excited, by the way, about the intermediate and the advanced versions coming up a little bit later on. So don't forget, follow us on Instagram, click here to subscribe to our channel, and then click here if you want to just keep watching more videos. I'll see you guys next Wednesday.